This is your first job of the day. It is an internet and video installation at 123 Main Street.
We built this program for a large communications company. They provide internet video service to residential and business customers. Large company, they have about 20,000 employees, so this can touch a lot of learners. Very expensive for them to hire instructors to come in and do these sessions. And they were struggling with learner engagement during the instructor-led sessions as well. So they had us come in and create a VR training program that is going to take their field technicians through essentially the start of a shift through a full install in a client's home where they'll be installing video and internet connectivity equipment.
Before entering the house, verify the work order and ask the customer where each device should be installed.
That all sounds right to me. Come in and I'll show you where I want everything set up.
For the client, it was really important that this was extremely realistic and looked like what the learners were going to encounter in the field. So we actually recreated an entire residential neighborhood that the learner can essentially traverse the entire thing. Now, most of the learning is going to happen at one of the houses in the neighborhood, but we go all the way through the process of having them pull up to the house, put cones around the car. You're going to have to go across the street to check foreign voltage. You're going to be on the side of the house, in the attic. Every room within the house you're going to have to go into. So every one of those environments presents different hazards and different potential obstacles that the learner is going to need to know. And VR is a great way that we can even randomize those elements. So every time the learner goes through it, they're getting a fresh look in each one of those environments. Yeah, as you can imagine, there's a pretty wide range of things that can go wrong because not only do you have to drive to the client's house, not only are you going to be walking around outside, you're going to be entering a stranger's home. You know, anytime that you go into a stranger's home, there's a number of different potential hazards. One, from a safety standpoint, but two, from a property liability standpoint. You may be drilling or making holes in somebody's home. Obviously, if something like that goes wrong, it can be very expensive and can really upset our clients. So we'd rather have a safe space where learners can go through and make those mistakes. And also we can introduce them to a lot of other things that what they might not see while they're shadowing with somebody out in the field. For instance, what happens if you go to the client's house and a dog's in the yard? Do you go in? Do you call them first? How are you going to handle that situation? We can take them through different scenarios of whether a customer may be upset, whether you track dirt through the customer's house, tons of things that the learner may not see when they're just shadowing with somebody else in the field.
To complete the next steps safely, you will need to put on your PPE. You'll also need to grab all the tools and equipment required for this installation. With your foreign voltage detector, you'll be able to detect if a surface is safe to work with or has dangerous voltage running through it.
Another big aspect of the training was working with high voltage electrical sources, because you can imagine that's going to be part of the role when you're splicing wires together and things like that. And just the nature of working with electricity is extremely dangerous. So that was something they wanted us to really work in. And that's one of the cool things about VR is that we can add elements of haptic feedback that will let them know that they did the job wrong. And it's enough of a startle that it really kind of imprints on their memory without actually shocking the learner, which can happen in training sometimes.
Before opening the pedestal, grab the foreign voltage detector from your tool bag and use it on the pedestal. Excellent! There doesn't seem to be any foreign voltage on the outside case. Be sure to use your foreign voltage detector on all future work surfaces which may contain voltage.
So initially we're going to prompt them to use their foreign voltage detector every time that they're going up to an electrical source. But as they progress through the module, we're going to pare that back and no longer give them that reinforcement. So they're going to be forced essentially to remember to test every electrical source with that foreign voltage meter before they actually go forward.
Good job checking for foreign voltage. You're all clear to continue working.
One of the cool things about this program is after they deployed it, they now said that they have people just touching light switches and things they don't even have to because this habit's been so ingrained into them. And I think that speaks loads for the effectiveness of VR for training on electrical systems. For this particular client's home, they did need to go into the attic to replace a splitter. There was a cable splitter up there that was not working in this particular example, but it's one of the aspects that we really wanted to train on because going into attics can be inherently dangerous. Many of them aren't finished. You have to step on floor joists. If you were to step in between, you can go directly through somebody's ceiling. Not only is that dangerous, but people are going to be very upset if someone comes crashing through their ceiling and they need to re-drywall the entire thing. So there's a very specific technique that we want people to follow as they're traversing an attic. VR is a great way to test that, because by taking the training wheels off and making them look through a number of different things where they could potentially pick the wrong one, allows them to really reinforce and imprint that knowledge themselves. Pretty sure that they saw an 80% increase in effectiveness of the training, which I think is really cool, because that's the main reason that we're rolling this out, is because we want the learners to be trained more effectively. And I think what goes hand in hand with that is the learner promotion score, which was up to 120 on this, which is numbers that you don't see very often for training. Training is one of those type of things that I feel like when people hear it, they can sigh because they feel like it's going to be boring. And one thing we heard from them is that we had people actually asking to come back for their refreshers for this, where typically people want to push off training. So knowing that the learners were so engaged that they were excited that they could do this another time, I think speaks volumes.